All right, what's poppin', bozos?
What did he say?
Fight Night Frankie here, back with another video. Now, despite the fact that Uncle Fester and all of his little butt buddies like to make us all believe that the UFC has the same mainstream mass appeal as, say, boxing has managed to achieve over the years.
We're #1 in all of sports. And when I say all of sports, if you take the NFL, the NBA, the NHL, F1, WWE, and who am I forgetting, and added them all together.
What?
Maybe I'm talking out of my ass a little bit here. You can let me know in the comments, and I'm sure that you will.
Your mom's a dickhead, blood.
But personally, it can still be hard to find real-life MMA tards to share our love of the sport with. Now, I for one have made numerous attempts over the years to convert fans of other combat sports into jumping on board by convincing them to watch along with certain cards that on paper have shown promise to deliver, only for these endeavors to blow up in my fucking face due to buckets of excrement moments
Over there.
Okay, so
over there.
we've got to see the replay because last
that have only led to further accusations that MMA is actually closer to gay corn than a truly entertaining combat sports alternative. So again, I asked members of the MMA community, what fight or moment in the sport would you show to a newcomer to make them an MMA skaghead for life?
Is anthrax bad?
Remember to like and subscribe, and always drop a fight or moment in the comments that you would serve up to get more people to ruin their Saturday nights along with the rest of us. Let's see what people had to say.
G'day, you Fight Night legends. I had a hard time when Frankie asked me this one because there are so many good fights to pick from. If I was going to have the boys around and they didn't know anything about MMA and I was going to say, watch this one fight, I would chuck on Glover Teixeira versus Jiri Prochazka. It is an insane fight the entire 25 minutes. Very much because Jiri Prochazka is just a madman and does believe that you can wear out a man's fists if you just allow them to crack you on the skull enough. Glover Teixeira is like a rabid pit bull with a bone, just never giving up on that takedown or trying to submit and ground and pound Jiri Prochazka. Jiri Prochazka is often in bottom position being like, yeah, I can take it, mate. My neck cannot be choked out. And then when you think all hope is lost and Glover Teixeira has that fight, in the last 30 seconds, Jiri Prochazka pulls off, I believe it was a guillotine from bottom position. Just insane. And it was one of those don't be silly, never pull the gilly. Jiri did it. Jiri pulled it off. Anyway, I've gone over time, but that is the one fight that I would show the boys if they were coming around for beers, pizza, and they knew nothing about MMA.
If I was trying to get my friend into MMA, and I could only show them one fight, it would be Igor Sivrid taking on Vitaly Bigdash.
What are you laughing for? Why are you laughing for? I'm being serious.
The most underlooked fight of all time, one of the greatest comebacks in fighting history in general. That would be my answer if I was a nerd. But I'm not a nerd. I am a cool guy. And cool guys are gonna take their friends, physically restrain them, and make them watch every single fight from the Frankie Edgar, Gray Menard trilogy. But if I had to choose just like one fight,
Finally!
it would probably be Justin Gaethje, Michael Johnson, super entertaining, and they'll like the sport, watching that. I'm a cool guy.
So the fight I would show a brand new MMA fan for the first time, or somebody who's getting brand new into the sport, Jorge Masvidal versus Ben Askren. I think you showed them the build-up, the hype, the trash talk from Ben Askren.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
How do you beat him? Any way I want. But how do you think? I dominate him whole time.
George needs to know, I don't get full on a 3-piece and a soda. He better bring the whole damn family meal for that night.
You showed them the fight, I think, and then seeing the aftermath of it, seeing the trash talk after.
I saw some criticism. People say the punches weren't really necessary. Maybe
they were super necessary.
I think it's the perfect gateway drug into MMA and what MMA can be. I think if you show them a 5-round war, they're going to get distracted. You show them a massive fight like Khabib versus Conor, the trash talk.
And that's what you saw with that little shite on the bus over there. He shit his jocks.
Can be more entertaining than the fight, but I think just with that 5-second viral KO, I think it sums up this mental sport that we love.
What's up, guys? It's the one and only Paradox, the Chadwick here. And today I'm going to be doing a video segment for Fight Night Frank. So he wants me to do the most casual friendly fighter, but fuck him, I'm going to do the most casual friendly fight. And you can call me Layla Machado, Gary, yeah, because I'm going to take on 2 at the same time, yeah.
Gotcha, bitch!
In my opinion, the most casual friendly fight, or one of them, could be Jiri Prochazka versus Dominic Reyes, yeah. Because it's a barn burner of a fight, yeah. Jiri gets knocked out with an up kick, but then he does some cool spinning elbow KO, which is fucking cool, innit? And I'll throw in Mateusz Gamrot versus Arman Tsarukyan, yeah, because obviously casuals don't know who these guys are, and they don't know that they're completely disgusting weirdos, yeah. But that's a very good grappling fight, you know. It's one that's entertaining to watch, so it'll let the casuals know what the sport's about, you know, gay grappling.
The UFC fight that I would show to a newcomer to introduce them to the sport in the most impactful way would be the main event of UFC 278, Edwards versus Usman 2. The reason that I picked that fight is because I think it really captures all the ups and downs and the chaos that is MMA, where you can have somebody lose the majority of a fight very convincingly in a very dominant fashion, and then head kick, fights over out of nowhere. The guy that was getting dominated all of a sudden is the winner, and then the post-fight interview is,
Look at me now! Half a pound! Headshot, dead! That's it!
and that's why I'm such a big fan of it, is the out of nowhere, unexpected finish where the guy that was losing the fight comes out on top. I think it's a perfect way to introduce someone to the sport.
Fair enough.
Good morning, Frankie, Count Francula. What fight would I introduce to somebody if I want them to start watching UFC? Well, I did actually do that when I first met my girlfriend, Thumb. We all know her as Thumb. The classic Indian lady we've got there.
I mean, thank y'all. Come again.
When we first started dating, she come round to mine for like a New Year's Eve. It was. She couldn't be asked to go out. And I professed my addiction to the UFC.
All right, I confess.
And I was like, okay, all right, let me put a fight on. I'll show you what it's all about. And the fight that I put on was Tony Ferguson, Edson Barboza, because I remember that being a scrap. And that was back when Ferguson was super hype. And then she really enjoyed it. And then the fight after that I put on, I was like, well, where's Tony Ferguson now? Where is my favourite fighter now? And then I put on Ferguson Gaethje, and she could not believe the contrast. But a fight to get them in, Ferguson versus Barboza. Easily.
There's only one fight that comes to mind, and that is Chael Sonnen versus Anderson Silva 1. You'd have to tell the fan about the build-up.
If we walk in the back dressing room and Anderson says put on hip-hop and Chael walks in and says put on country, I guarantee it's going to be a hoedown. Nobody cares about Anderson Silva. Nobody buys his merchandise.
Well, Anderson's a fraud. He's a liar and he's a thief. He beat up a math teacher.
And about how Anderson Silva was at the time, he was doing things in that cage that no one has done since. Never mind at the time. He was doing phenomenal things in that cage. He was undefeated in the UFC at the time. Chael Sonnen came along. He went into the fight. In the first round, he knocked Anderson Silva down, and then he used his striking to set up his takedowns and wrestled him, ground and pound. He dominated the fight, and then this is what makes it brilliant. In the last round, Anderson Silva locks up a submission and defeats Chael Sonnen. That is the epitome of MMA, and that is why I'd recommend it. That's my pick. That's my pick. That's my choice. Anyway, we're here in Vegas. Let's have a look.
What's up, everybody? My go-to fight.
Dustin Poirier versus Dan Hooker.
This was more than just a fight.
That fight during the pandemic was absolutely crazy.
It was an absolute war for 5 rounds. These guys stood toe-to-toe, trading bombs and refusing to back down. Both men took unreal punishment, showed elite skill and heart. Poirier's slick boxing, Hooker's devastating Muay Thai. This fight was the epitome of what makes MMA so special.
Not just was the fight violent and just awesome to watch overall, but there was no audience. You could hear all the punches, you could hear all the elbows, the kicks.
Oh, good kick.
The knees. It was an awesome fight.
But the beautiful violence was
nice. What's up, everyone? Fight Night Frankie, thank you so much for reaching out and asking me, Kerry, Rob's neighbor, what fight I would choose if I was bringing someone new into MMA. I honestly think that Nate Diaz versus Conor McGregor would be a perfect match for anyone new to the sport. It has everything, big personalities leading up to the fight.
But all I want is a thank you, or even a little dance.
You're welcome.
Even a little dance. Dance for me, Nate. Dance for me. And don't look me in the eye when you dance.
You're playing touch butt with that dork in the park, the ponytail. And I'm the one who ain't got no training partner? I don't think so. You seem to have it all figured out when you're fighting midgets.
Great press conference, a thrilling back and forth battle, some incredible moments in the show, toughness, some skill. It's a classic and I wouldn't say it's a classic underdog story, by no means is it that. We'll have to edit that out, but it definitely is somewhat of an underdog story with Nate showing up on short notice.
Hey, I'm not surprised.
But if you're new to MMA, I think this fight will show you why people love the sport.
Don't forget to like, share, and hit subscribe.